write spiritual books, then you can understand better. For the first time, if it is too much for you also, it is okay. Okay. All right, everyone. Namaste. Welcome to the session. Today I'm talking about the soul stages. So let's get into it. Okay. So now everyone knows what are the what is a soul, right? It's a soul is a pure consciousness, pure light, and it's basically the God. We are the gods. The soul is like it's derived from the God, and it's pure consciousness, pure being. It's a pure light, pure divinity form. That is none other than that's us. So, what are the stages in it? A journey of the soul, basically. So, through the journey of the soul, through the lifetime, wisdom, and awakening, everything. So, what are the soul stages? So, there are seven stages, I guess. So, but before I dive into the deeper, a map of the soul evaluation. Soul stages describe the progressive levels of spiritual maturity of a soul travels across many lifetimes. Rooted in ancient wisdom found in Gnostic, Sufi, Hindu, modern metaphysical traditions, each culture names the same timeless journey differently, actually. So in Hindu, especially in Hinduism, especially they believe the incarnation, soul incarnation. And not a hierarchy. No stage is better. I know, yeah, there are stages, but no stage is better. I would say each stage has its own values. Each stage it has own learnings. Actually, everyone will go through these stages. I've gone through it. You have gone through it, and every soul is will go through these stages. Something like if a student need to graduate from the high school, he has to go through the kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade. All these stages they need to go, and then they graduate. Similarly, all the souls will go through all these stages. There is no escape at all. One lifetime or another lifetime, if not this year, next year, they have to go through these kind of stages. So it is not a hierarchy. No stage is better. 10th grade is not better. First grade is not better. Every level is important. So similarly, every soul stage is important. So each brings unique gifts and essential lessons to that individual soul, to all the souls basically. Because my whatever the journey I have, I learned essential lessons in my lifetimes. You have learned essential lifetimes in your life. So every journey is unique, every journey is important, every journey has its own lessons. So the journey is circular, not linear. So across many lifetimes, each soul is said to incarnate hundreds of times, slowly gathering wisdom through experience and reflection. So actually, before I came into meditation, I heard this like every soul. Whenever I heard it from Chaganti, like Telugu, is like one of the he gives the preachers on Hindu in Telugu actually in Andhra. He gives preachers on these Vedantas actually. So he said in one of the video he mentioned that every person whenever they incarnate they will learn only 1%. I was like, how that is possible? But that's true. Some souls, they will not, like, they take hundreds of lifetimes. And in one of the lifetime, they may not learn anything because every time we take a life and we get into this Maya illusion and we always run behind this illusion, Maya, materialistic, and then we forgot why we came here, what lessons we need to learn, and we totally forget. So then again once they die they realize they haven't learned anything and then they will take another life. So it's like that basically they will get into the loop. That's why they take many lifetimes. Even I don't know how many lifetimes I have taken. So every soul said to incarnate hundreds of times, slowly gathering wisdom through experience and reflection. So before I step into these soul stages, actually, I want to tell you one example. One not example, it is a truth actually. So think like Earth is like a school basically, where we all came to the earth to learn the lessons that we needed to learn. So we all caught up in the illusion. This is illusion, where we are on the earth. What happens is there is a universal lab. Once we come to the earth, we forget why we come to the earth, because we don't remember at all why we come here. It's a game that we are playing without knowing the rules, without knowing why we come here, and we are just here and still struggling to find out the answers, why I'm here, why I'm there. Some people doesn't even think, just they caught up in the illusion and maya. So every basically before we come to the earth, we design our life such a way that once I go to this life, once I go to this incarnate as, for example, me, once I incarnate as Satya, I wanted to learn these lessons. For example, I need to learn the patience in this life. Okay, I come here. So if I want to learn the patience, what kind of a challenges I need to get? Somebody who pokes me all the time, right? So I designed such a way that I'll prepare actors. Basically, you can think like actors, a cast of actors, cast of crew and actors. So I'll bring up maybe husband or a family members. Hey, I'll choose. Can you act as a husband on the earth, and can you keep on poking me so that I can develop the patience. I don't want to get angry on you. I don't want to get mad at you. I don't want to leave you. I want to stay with you and develop the patience. Can you act as an husband? So then I choose the husband, and husband said like, okay, I'll come and act as an husband. I will give you the test and challenges so that you can develop your patience. So then once we both come here as husband and wife, and then once he started acting, then I get so mad because I don't know why I came here. I totally forgot. And then whenever he gets mad, then I was like, I wanted to leave him. No, this is not the way to live. I wanted to leave you. So rather than developing the patience, I like get mad, and maybe I end up having the divorce with him or whatever the reason. But see, we think that before we come to the earth at the soul level, when we think that, we think everything is easy. Oh, maybe I can. It's think like a student will go to the college, and rather than bringing rather than taking 10 credits in the college course, end up taking in 30 credits, thinking that hey, it is easy for me, I can easily um, pass 30 credits. And then when they started reading the 30 credits, and they realized that oh my god, it is very very hard, it is very very hard, and then become the stress and worry, anxiety. Similarly, a soul before come to the earth designed such a way that I will accomplish this, that. And once we come here to the earth, and then we struggle so much because it is not an easy. We go through so much pain, worry, and so many difficult, challenging place on the earth. So that is why we don't know where to go and how to. This is People say that earth is the most challenging place. It is the most challenging school to learn actually. And we all are very very brave souls actually. When we go to the different planets, when we say that hey, I went to the earth and I took the birth and I have learned these lessons, the other souls whoever haven't taken the birth, they will say like, look at you, a brave soul, like oh my god, she has so much courage and she's very brave, she went to the earth and took the lessons. So like that, so think like you are a brave soul no matter what. So that is a little brief summary I wanted to give about the soul background. So now the get into the soul stages. So the first one is infant soul. A baby when they took the birth, right? Same thing when the soul came from the God. So they took the birth on the not from the God. Maybe they could have taken many lifetimes on the different planet, but on the earth itself, like enrolling into the kindergarten or first grade. Okay, think like that. So infant soul, the first time coming to the earth. So the newcomer to the earth, basically, think like that. Newcomer to the earth school. So it's basically raw. He never had that soul, never took the life on earth, and it is the first time on earth. So basically, never felt like, any pain, any worry, any happiness, nothing. So just first time came to the earth school. So that is called infant soul. So how the infant soul operates? So infant soul operates from the pure survival instinct, because it's a first time and it's trying to survive on the earth. And not only that, tribal loyalty over individual thought, fears the unknown, needs a strong community, because they look for the support, basically, because they don't know, they never been here, they never had any experiences on the earth, see the world in black and white, deeply connected to the nature and the body. What is a core lesson? Safety, trust, and belonging. Learning that existence itself is enough. So, typically, 1 to 50 lifetimes Earth experiences we are talking about here, not on the other planet. So, typically, 1 to 50 lifetimes it will take. So, how can you find out this is an infant soul? When somebody, how can you find out he's an infant soul? So, let's say if somebody want to give you a $1 million, and if they ask, can you hurt somebody? Can you kill somebody? I will give you the $1 million. I don't think we agree to that, because we know hurting somebody, killing somebody is not good. It is very, very bad deed, that we know that. But infant souls, they never had such kind of experiences. What is a pain look like? Going through the hard challenges, they never had those kind of experiences. So they do anything for the survival, anything for the survival. So that is why we see some people, like, do the bad things, because think like they are infant souls. Excuse me. Next, baby soul. So next stage, so think like infant soul is like, they just enrolled into the kindergarten, getting used to the new school, new earth school. Okay. So next, baby soul. After 1 to 50 lifetimes, now they are slowly transitioning into the baby soul. A ruler, a rule keeper, order, morality, structure. So what are the key traits of baby soul? Is strong need for rules, law, and tradition. Deeply religious and moralistic worldview. Comfort, conformity and community acceptance matter most. Black and white thinking with clear right wrong, uncomfortable with ambiguity or change. So, what are the core lessons? Learning that structure and rules serve growth, not imprison it. So, this baby soul usually takes 50 to 200 lifetimes. So, these people, baby souls, you can think like in such a way that something like politicians, I would think about it, where they wanted to rule the people, like, where they wanted to control the people, because now they have transitioned. Okay. So next one, young soul. The young souls are little more advanced after, like, after the baby soul. So the achiever, ambition, success, independence. So what are the key traits? Highly competitive and goal oriented, values wealth, status, and personal freedom, believes deeply in self made success, can be materialistic or ego driven, dominant in modern Western civilization. So, what are the core lessons? Discovering that outer achievement cannot satisfy the inner hunger. So, typical lifetimes, this will take about 200 to 50, 200 to 500 lifetimes. Like, these people, after, like, they have taken maybe many lifetimes as a kings or rulers and then politicians. Now they wanted to, competitive or goal oriented. Now they wanted to success, they wanted a wealth, status. So personal freedom, they look for identity, slowly transitioning actually. So that is young souls. Yeah, Jyoti, you have any question? I see your hand raised.
Yeah, actually, you said in infant soul, they will kill if we give money, like that, right? What if they might have killed by the one who who is accepting, right? uh, with that before itself in the past birth, so that now they are agreeing to kill.
Yeah, that could be also a reason. Like, if somebody could have killed him, so what
Mm-hmm.
happens is somebody accidentally killed the infant soul, right? So
Mm-hmm.
then after their death, when they are revisioning their life of like over there, when
Mm-hmm.
they revision, basically everyone revision their life. How did I, first grade, we have done the first grade. So the soul will review, like, how did I do the first grade? Did I fail? Did I achieve whatever I needed to achieve, right? So there
Mm-hmm.
they will sit with the masters, and the guides will be their master. They will sit with the masters. So now the master asks, hey, you haven't accomplished whatever you wanted to accomplish on the earth, but your
Mm-hmm.
life has been ended in the middle because somebody killed you. So do you want to go back? Do you want to forgive that person, or do you want to take the revenge on him? Of
Mm-hmm.
course, he's an infant soul, right? He doesn't have
Mm-hmm.
any experiences. He wanted to take a revenge on him. So then
Mm-hmm.
the infant soul says that, okay, I want to go back again, and then I want to kill that person again. Not
Oh,
again, I want to take the revenge and kill that person.
okay.
So the next time he come back, and then he's still an infant soul. He
Mm-hmm.
take the revenge and he kill the same person whoever killed by him, right? So the loop continue until then they will have then they both will have the both souls will have the strong karmic code attached, because one lifetime he killed, and in the second lifetime he killed. They both are coming back to earth again and again, having the strong karmic background, and
Mm-hmm.
having the revenge together on both of them. That's why until either one of them says like, okay, I'll forgive that person, I don't want to get into this killing mode anymore. Until one of the person said that, the karmic, what do you say, the karmic lessons will continue between both of them.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. So that is why, many people including me get into the karmic loop. Forgiveness is very, very important, and that's coming tomorrow. I wanted to give the lesson on the forgiveness today, but before forgiveness, this class is very important. But good question, thank you so much. Okay, now young soul, we have gone through it. So young soul lifetimes typically 200 to 500 lifetimes. And then the mature souls. These are comes. Here we are the mature souls. I can proudly say that. These are the seekers, empathy, depth, inner truth. So these mature souls will look for the intense focus on relationships and emotions, and drawn to psychology, therapy, and self-inquiry. Obviously, that's where we are. And struggles with existential questions and meaning. Highly empathetic. We are all many of us empathetic here. Often observes others' pain, moves away from materialism towards authenticity. So, core lesson, learning to hold complexity, embrace paradox, and love without losing self. So, these typical lifetimes, if you notice, the mature soul also, it's not one time or second life. Some people might get enlightened, like Milarepa, those kind of masters might take lesser lifetimes, but usually typically they say 500 to 800 lifetimes. That is why even meditation and these kind of things are not for maybe it could be for everyone, but if you go and tell the baby soul, hey, come and meditate, the baby souls, they don't listen. The infant souls, they don't listen, because they're not seeking for the truth. They wanted the other things. They wanted the material things. They wanted in the survival. They wanted angry. They wanted to take the revenge. It doesn't matter how many times you tell them to come and meditate, they don't listen, because they are at the complete different stage. So the mature souls start seeking for, finding the challenges, why I'm facing these problems, I wanted to come out of it. I wanted to know the reason why I'm here. These kind of questions. Feel the pain for others. Because why we know the pain, like we know that if I put my finger in the fire, oh my god, I burn my finger, so I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't hurt anyone. We know that. Why? Because we have taken many lifetimes and we have experienced the pain. We have gone through so many difficult challenges in the when we were infant soul or like baby soul, young souls. Now we know that we don't do such kind of bad things, and we wanted to do the mature souls wanted to do the good things and help others and help themselves. So now next stage is old soul. So it's a wisdom, detachment and unity. So effortless wisdom and inner calm, low attachments to material success or fame, often eccentric, solitary and philosophical, drawn to teaching, healing and mentoring, feels most at home in nature or silence. So these are all old soul key traits. So what are the core lessons here? Mastering detachment, loving the world without needing it to be different. So typical lifetimes 800 to 1000 plus lifetimes. If you notice, actually, even some children, they talk when they are 5 years old, 6 years old itself. They talk with so much maturity. They have so much clarity and they ask questions that we don't even think about it. So how did they get the wisdom of like at 5 years old, 6 years old? You can think like they're already look at rather than their age, look at such a way that the soul is very mature or old souls. So even though some people are very old, they don't have that kind of maturity level because their soul stage is they are at the different stage. So that is why when you are like being with the people, talking to the people, talking to the kids, notice, start observing them rather than do not judge them at all, but start observing them, what kind of a soul they are. By just listening to their words, you will know that. Okay, there are transcendent, 6 and 7, transcendent soul and infinite soul. The soul has transcendent soul. The soul has mastered all earthly lessons and choose to remain in physical form as guide. Rare, it's a rare radiant and often found in great spiritual teachers, healers, and sages who uplift humanity through pure essence. And who is the infinity soul? The soul transcends individual incarnation entirely, merging with universal consciousness, manifest only as an avatar or world teacher. For example, Buddha, Christ, to deliver the transformative truth to the civilization. They are infinite souls, actually. So, yeah, these are infant, baby, young, mature, old, transcendent, infinite soul stages. So the soul is ageless, but anyway, you guys know that the soul is ageless. It knows no hurry, only the journey. So take your time, no rush, no hurry, no worry. Take your time, enjoy the life, learn the lessons, whatever you needed to learn. So take it easy. So I'll stop here. Anyone have any questions? Anything you would like to share or add?
No questions, Satya, but it's really amazing, so enlightening.
Mm.
I, I mean, I've done a lot of these courses, but I haven't come across something so beautiful. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah. Thank you, Ruchita. Hope it helps, at least like it has given you some ideas. Because even when I heard for the first time, oh, there are soul stages, like what does it even mean? Soul stages, I never heard of it. But it mesmerizes me. Then I started observing the people, especially in the family. We have a different, everyone have a different personality. Then it has helped me to realize that, like I am expecting everyone to be perfect. How can that be possible? Because everyone is at a different level, different stages. If a fifth grade student is expecting a first grade student to be act like a fifth grade student, that's totally unfair, because the first grade student, he is still learning. alphabetics. He's still learning wording. So these soul stages it will help us to, like, to understand other people and not get into fight, not get not carry the anger within us, to forgive them. So Lavanya, please go ahead, unmute yourself.
Hello, Satya Master. Uh, that was nice attending this session. I have a question. Um, I'll try to put it. I hope you. I mean, I'll be clear. If there are two people in a karma bonding, like A and B, A is the culprit and B is the victim. If either one of these people gets some wisdom and understands that forgiveness is important and we have to move on, this is a soul journey, etc., etc. So, even without A seeking for forgiveness, B forgives and can move on, or B, though he doesn't forgive, A gets that wisdom and he apologizes, and though B is not ready to forgive, A can move on because of his wisdom.
Yeah, yes, A can move on if one of the person forgives, for example. Like, let's say, I will give my example and my husband example, so that gives more clarity for me to answer this question. So I came into the spiritual path, right? So I have forgiven my husband, for example. I've forgiven him fully for whatever the miscommunications or whatever the lessons I needed to learn that he was teaching me, right? I realized that he was teaching me all these lessons. Okay, I fully forgiven him and I came into this path. And then what happens is he doesn't trouble me anymore, because the forgiveness is very, very tough part. Trust me, it is not an easy. It takes some time. But when I fully forgiven him, and not only that, forgiven him, basically he is giving me whatever I've given in the previous lifetimes. Okay. First thing, we need to say sorry to that soul. Basically, like, I am sorry, please forgive me. Not face to face, okay? At the soul level, sit in the meditation, and asking for the forgiveness and saying sorry to that soul from the heart. So while we are practicing this, that means that we have forgiven him or her. That means we have learned the lesson, whatever we needed to learn, and we are moving. So mm, that karmic lesson, whatever we needed to learn, or the karmic bond between both these two souls, will be neutralizes. The purpose of B, or the purpose of my husband, is to teach me the lessons I needed to learn. So once I learned, then he doesn't have anything to teach me. So there won't be any conflict again. We will become the friends, even though that doesn't mean that he will come into the meditation and he will change 100%. No, that's not true. But he will not trouble me anymore. But he will stay the same as he is. Maybe he he might needed, maybe for this life, maybe he might come into the meditation path or not. He might have still anger issues. That's his problem. That's nothing to do with me. As long as he won't trouble me, that means my karmic bondage has been ended, neutralized between both A and B. Does that make sense? Did I
Yeah.
answer your question?
So,
Yeah.
if A learns to forgive wholeheartedly and completely, then there can be a shift in the relationship.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. The karmic bond will end. Um, it will neutralize us, basically. Um, it will neutralize once you learn the lessons that you both have signed up to learn.
okay.
Yeah, for that, we need to work out actually. There are so many things. I mean, especially for me, and especially with the family, my close family, I have done lot of inner work, like Ho'oponopo technique I've done. mm, what else I've done? There is a code cutting, that's another pattern. It's not a 1 day workout or 2 day workout. I worked for almost 3 years, 3 years or something. Like, it took some time to, work on it, because forgiveness is a very, very toughest thing, honestly. I will take the class on this tomorrow. Maybe I'll explain little more tomorrow on this.
How many days there is a karma vipakam, right? Those at least how many minimum days we need to do those
I did it every day.
every day?
I
Oh,
still do it. Yeah.
okay.
See, when we look back, the soul stages, right? Every
Mm,
lifetime, every stage has at least 50, 100, 200, 300, 400, right? See, imagine a soul minimum takes at least four. I think not exactly, I'm not exactly sure. It depends on the soul growth, individual
mhm.
soul, but minimum they take 400 to 500 lifetimes. So imagine when they are baby, infant soul, baby soul, how much karmas they will do it. They have done so many karmas, but they don't realize that. They don't know, because they're at the baby level. A baby, if you give a knife to baby doesn't know whether it is, baby can, hurt himself or hurt others. Baby doesn't know, right? So,
Mm.
baby, when they are baby souls, infant souls, they do lot of bad karma, bad things actually. So then later on they repay it. So now don't expect that. So in 1 day we will, end all the bad deeds. So it's basically working. Every day you need to work on it until you get cleared it out.
Mm. Thank you.
Yeah, we don't know. That's the thing. That's the earth rule. But we all signed up for it, and we are here. Once you come to the earth school and you forget everything. All right. Okay. Is everyone okay? Anyone questions? Any questions? All right. Everyone, let's meditate. Then tomorrow I'll talk about the forgiveness. Maybe today's lesson is a basic, another basic foundation for tomorrow's class.